Welcome to day 2 of Find Your Money Flow. Yesterday we talked about digging into the energy behind your money, and I'm sure some feelings started to get stirred up. I asked you guys about what you felt when you thought about your money. What was the energy of your money? If you were to sit down and pretend that money was like a person that you love in your life, what was that relationship like? So you might have had some surprising realizations, and it might have stirred up some even shame or anxiety. And today I'm going to show you an awesome technique to help you move through these emotions so that we can really get to that empowered, stable place when it comes to our finances. So say hello when you're here. Welcome, Ashley. Welcome, everyone who's just joining me. Thank you for being with me today. I would love to know what that experience was like for you. And if any of you did the Spirit of Money meditation, what it is that you saw or experienced. Because every time I've done this with people, they all have a different sort of story. Some people are like, money looks like a little fairy that I want to trap in a jar and I don't want to let go. Or it feels like it's too fast and I can't catch it. There's always these different symbolisms that come up along the way. So today we're going to talk about what to do when you have some fear, anxiety, or uncertainty around money. And the first thing is, number one, to follow the feeling. So to really get honest with how we're feeling around our money and just take note of it. So I asked you guys to write down some affirmations yesterday and just note how believable those felt for you. And one of them we wrote down was, I feel secure, excited, and abundant when I think about my money. And just checking in, like, how true does that statement feel on a scale of 0 to 100%? Like, maybe that feels 70% or 40%, whatever the number comes for you, just taking note of it. And today I'm going to show you a technique, which I call, in tapping, we call bridging the gap. And what it does is it takes affirmations, things that we want to be true for ourselves, and it kind of guides your mind. It like takes you the steps that you need to get there. Hi, Cassandra. 25%. Okay, awesome, Elaine. Thank you. Welcome, Elaine, Ashley, Cassandra. Thank you for joining me, and everyone on Instagram Live as well. So today I'm going to show you this really simple, easy technique that's going to get you to the place where you will actually start believing those affirmations. So it won't just be something that we say and we're like, oh yeah, that would be nice if it was true, but it doesn't really feel real to me. And what tapping does is gets you to that place where it feels and it resonates on a different level where you're like, yes, this is my truth. The other thing that tapping does is it interrupts the negative pattern. So if we're spiraling in fear around money, if we're like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And we're just like I call it like kind of an anxiety shitstorm. Tapping kind of interrupts you and pulls you out of it. It goes, hold up, like hold your horses. Let's stop the process here, reset and realign with what we actually want to feel and receive. So step one, like I said, is to follow the feeling. If we're having anxiety, uncertainty, or any emotions coming up around it, to acknowledge it. And that's what we did yesterday. We really got clear around what our energy and feeling was around money. Because if we try and ignore it, it becomes an elephant in the room. It just feels like it grows bigger and we're like, it's not there. I'm not freaked out. I'm fine, And it just like gets bigger and bigger. And what my intention for you is to create a safe space that you feel like, okay, I can express these fears so they don't have so much power over me, so that I can make empowered decisions. I can have new ideas come in and feel inspired to take action. The second thing, so we follow the feeling, we acknowledge how we're feeling, and you guys can feel free to message me privately if you don't feel like sharing here, and just share with me some of the feelings you have around money. Someone shared, one thing she shared with me is that, the comparison around money, like I should be making more money like other people are. I should be working more. Everyone's ahead of me. So a lot of judgment and shame can come up. And the cool thing about this is, I always say with judgment, as soon as the conversation begins, the shame dissolves, because we're like, oh, we can open up to have compassion for ourselves, and we realize, oh, like other people have struggles too. It's not just me. Wait, maybe I'm not that far behind, and the judgment can start to dissipate. So having these conversations and being open about it is really healing, and it's a good healing first step. All right, so we follow the feeling, we write down how we want to feel or what we want to be true, which we did yesterday. We wrote down some affirmations, and then we write down all the thoughts and feelings that come up around this. So using the example, I feel secure, excited, and abundant when I think about my money. And some of the thoughts around that might be, I want to, but I feel anxious, or whatever the thoughts come up for you, just writing them down in your journal. And now I'm going to show you how to tap through it. So everyone go ahead, and if you haven't tapped with me before, just go with it. And I always say tapping is better experienced than explained. So just give it a try right now and see how you feel. So using this affirmation, I feel secure, excited, and abundant when I think about my money. Asking yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 how real that feels for you. And then we're going to go ahead and start tapping on the side of the hand. And what you guys can do is you can just silently say it in your head, or even better, repeat after me. So you're going to say, even though I want to feel secure and abundant right now, I feel anxious and afraid instead. And even though this is true for me, I accept myself anyway. Tapping on the side of the hand, we're going to say, even though I am feeling insecure, I accept myself anyway, deeply and completely. Good job. And say, even though I know more money will always show up, right now I feel anxious and insecure, and I accept myself anyway. And you can also insert any feelings that you have in here. It could be frustration or whatever it is. So this is just an example. Now we tap on the top of the head, and this is a place to vent. So we're going to say some statements that might feel a little uncomfortable, but these are the thoughts that are in your subconscious mind. So we want to release them. So we're going to tap on the top of the head and say, I feel anxious, worrying about where money will come from next. Eyebrow point. These thoughts and feelings, like, what if I run out? Side of the eye, what if I'm not supported? Underneath the eye, what if I don't have enough? Underneath the nose, what if I fail and I don't figure this out? Underneath the mouth, all of the worries and pressures I have around money. Collarbone point, I've been holding on to them inside. Underneath the arms, and I am ready to let them go. And then we tap right underneath the chest, and we say, all these fearful stories I have been telling myself. Wrist point, this critical inner voice that I have been listening to. Top of the head, I choose to no longer entertain this fear anymore. Eyebrow point, maybe this isn't as bad as I'm making it out to be. Side of the eye, maybe I can change the way I'm seeing this. Underneath the eye, I still have some resistance and worry, and that's okay. Underneath the nose, I'm still clinging to uncertainty a little bit. Underneath the mouth, and I know when I'm ready, I can let this go. And we're going to keep tapping, and we're going to say, I'm ready to feel more secure today around money. Underneath the arms, I'm opening up and exploring ways that I can do that. Underneath the chest, I remind myself that my money will always start flowing again. Good. Wrist point, I don't need to feel so insecure and scared anymore. All right, so take a nice comfortable breath. And this is really interesting because I've been working with a lot of people, especially I do something called the Spirit of Money sessions where we really dive into this on a personal level. And I noticed that this sort of ancient, old-fashioned part of us comes up from long ago that had some real legit money scarcity beliefs. And whether it was like, we're not going to have food, or it was like this very like struggle mindset that is an old way of thinking that I think is getting triggered when it's like we live in a modern society where we have, you know, mostly the ability to go and get a job if we really need to. And even more than that, like we are empowered, resourceful women. We know what we need to do and we're responsible. And so this tapping is really acknowledging this kind of old ancient part of us that has this scarcity, and giving it the space to release. It's like, okay, I've listened to you and entertained you long enough. I appreciate you for trying to protect me, because that's all these fears are doing, are trying to protect you. And I give you permission to leave now. And this is really exciting, because this is where we can open up into, doing some visualizations and starting to believe our affirmations more and creating more of what we want. And I always say, in order to receive, we must release. And so I acknowledge you and really celebrate you for taking the time to do this today, because this is what's going to shift your money mindset and create that space for you to actually receive. So we're going to go through one more round, and we're going to start to call in what we want. So we're going to go to the top of the head, and we're going to say, I'm ready to receive the money I desire. Eyebrow point. I show up and I take the time to tune into myself. Side of the eye. I take responsibility and positive actions forward. Underneath the eye, I explore what it might feel like to receive what I desire. Underneath the nose, I release the resistance and belief that this has to be hard. Underneath the mouth, I'm willing to explore how easy this could be. Collarbone point, I'm choosing to release the limits around my money now. Underneath the arms, I'm allowing myself to welcome more in. Underneath the chest, I allow myself to receive more than I need. Wrist point, I am pushing the limits of my worthiness and allowing myself to receive more today. Top of the head, I give myself permission to move past fear and welcome new possibilities. Eyebrow point, I am focusing my energy forward towards productive possibilities. Side of the eye, I'm open to having fun with this now. Underneath the eye, I'm open to exploring new possibilities around money. Underneath the nose, I acknowledge this part of me that's still insecure and afraid. Underneath the mouth, when I'm ready, I will release it. Collarbone point, but I focus my energy in a new direction now. Underneath the arms, I am a resourceful, responsible woman. Underneath the chest, and I do whatever it takes to make it happen. Wrist point, I allow myself to receive help from the universe and know that I am not alone in this anymore. So that feels like a big sigh of relief for me. And thank you for the hearts and thumbs up, because this is where we start to shift gears and we're like, okay, this fear isn't as bad as I thought. It's not like we're not ever going to see money again. It's really starting to switch our mind in the way we're thinking. So this is the next exercise I want you guys to do today, is to make a list of all the possible ways you could receive money. And I'm getting all sorts of signs. I'm getting angry faces and sad faces. I hope this isn't making you angry. I hope it's making you feel better. But the action I want you to take today is to make a list of all the possible ways you could receive money. And as an entrepreneur, this can be a blessing and a curse, because it can be like, oh my God, there's so many options. But if you come from that point of view, it's like, I get to do what I love. I can create all sorts of doorways of possibility for money to come to me. And it's really important to remember that money doesn't come from people, it comes through people. That, our source of abundance and receiving is all coming from something bigger than us, but it can flow through different avenues. So opening up those doors to receiving, literally, like, how many doors to receiving do I have open right now? How many ways do I have money to come in? Do I have programs? Do I have products? Like, how all the different ways that money is open right now. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. But I want you to make a list of all the exciting ways that money could show up for you today. You get a check in the mail. You could, like, one of the things someone said to me once, people make money being mermaids, like ridiculous things like that. Like there's an abundance of different ways, and this is starting to get your mind focused in the right direction. So please share with me how this experience was for you. Hi, Joy. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Andrew. Thanks, everyone, for joining me. Carly, everyone on Instagram. And if you guys have opted into this, you will get a tapping script as well as this video and the action steps in your email today. If you guys want the emails, just go to jackiemcdonald.ca/findyourmoneyflow. In Instagram, it's in my bio, and I will post it here on Facebook. All right, we'll see you all together tomorrow at 9 a.m. for day 3 of Find Your Money Flow. Have a wonderful day.